Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with Rebecca Grotte. Excited to have her here from beautiful Avondale Design Studio. And again, that's Avondale, Avondale, Design, Design Studio, Studio.com. And we are back here with our head designer and excited to have her back from the Texas area. Where specifically are you again, Rebecca?
I'm here in Houston, Texas.
Beautiful. Great. And you've been working in this field for so long, and I got to see some of your beautiful work. Every week we've been talking about, my goodness, all the work she could do for you in your home, and it's always exquisite. So please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about the specifics of what you do.
My name is Rebecca Grotte, and I own Avondale Design Studio. So I'm a full-service interior designer. We work with anything that has to do with the interior of your home. We can come in and help you just refresh, or we can also help you during the building process, construction, remodeling. We can purchase for you lighting, furniture, rugs, anything that has to do with your interior. So
Beautiful.
do all of that stuff.
Today we're going over comprehensive designs. I mean, in the past, we've seen everything from the spatial design aspect to you actually bringing in your own fabrics to do your beautiful draperies to your custom pillows, couches. I mean, she's been teaching me a lot, and I hope you all as well. So what is today's topic? It's comprehensive design. So let's go over that. And I know you're going to share your screen and see some of this other beautiful design work that you're doing. Wow.
So
Wow.
I wanted to give you guys the sort of finished products of a few different projects that are different, different for different reasons, and I'll go over that. But just a comprehensive overview of like what things look like at the end.
Yeah.
So we've gone through a lot of process work and what we do during the process. So I figured that I would show you at least a few finished projects so that you can see just some work. And then I've also just have a few things to talk about afterwards, like why would you hire a designer? What are some advantages of hiring a designer?
Yeah.
If you've never worked with a designer before, and just go over a few of those things too at the end.
Perfect. Oh, great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see. Okay. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first project was we worked on a 1920s bungalow, and this particular project she was a great client, and she really what she wanted was to basically restore all of her old antique furniture. So everything that you see is stuff that she had before, and this is really where you can see what a difference and how much upholstery and drapery is so important to our designs and the people that make those things, because this project wouldn't be possible without our upholsterer. He reupholstered almost every piece that you're going to see in on these slides. So this was a master bedroom. This was a kind of like a jewel toned. She really loved color, so we came in with a beautiful sapphire colored rug, and then we had some draperies made with a beautiful chinoiserie print, and then also her bedding was customized. And so these are just, I don't know if it's zoomed in enough for you guys to see it.
I can. Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, we've got some custom drapery. This rug was custom. The chair here was reupholstered we had a custom pillow made for it. This little vanity bench here was was also a reupholstered piece, and we had her bedding just custom made by one of our bedding shops that creates custom bedding for us. So it's just a mix of antiques and then a few modern like lighting fixtures and things like that. But most of it was stuff that she had already owned. Let's see. Okay,
Beautiful how you
so
make everything
this
match.
was her office, her little home office that we had. Let's see. We had her chaise lounge reupholstered and had a few pillows made for it. And again, just bringing in those custom draperies just really gives it a nice cozy feeling for that office. She
Right.
had an antique desk that we were working with, and she had plenty of antique rugs as well. And so this room here is adjacent to the living room, which I'm going to show you next. And let's see, I don't know if you can see those. Okay. So the living room was right across from that office. So we've got the same drapery treatments, and all of this furniture in her living room was reupholstered by our upholsterer. So all of this stuff she had in like a storage unit, and when she bought this house, and it was it was really nice to see all of her furniture kind of take a new life. And so and we also had like this table skirt made. And so everything again in this room is stuff that she already had, and except for the lighting. So these lamps were new. And of course the custom draperies were made new. But it's a great eclectic mix of old and new here in her living room. Let's see. Okay, so this was part of an addition. We added on to this house. So it was a pretty small footprint to begin with, but she wanted to add a sunroom to the back of her house so that she could have a little place to do her garden and have a beautiful place to sit. So in this room, again, we had floor to ceiling draperies. He's completely closed off the room. And we had all of these chairs redone. Now this right here was a sleeper sofa that we had made. And I don't know if you remember from one of the projects I showed before, but she was one that lived in a Galveston project that I showed before. This was the same sleeper sofa that we had made from her Galveston home, and we brought it over here to incorporate into her new home. And again, this was a powder room right off of this room. So we used some beautiful wall covering to just kind of
I
give
love that. So that's not a mirror. It's actually a frame of the paper.
Oh, well, no, that is a mirror, but it's reflecting the wall
Is it?
covering that
Oh, okay. I was like, that's really different. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's all around. Got it.
Yes, yes. So all of this is adjacent to that sunroom there. And then she had a beautiful antique lamp and some antique pieces that we had there in that room. Let's see. Okay, so this was the kitchen, and we don't have a lot of pictures of the kitchen. I don't know why we didn't take more pictures, but we actually remodeled this kitchen. And but it was not a huge remodel. We just kind of redid the countertops and redid the tile and everything. And then this was her dining room, and you can see through that little space, the living room there. And it was just such a quaint little beautiful project that I wanted to include because it just shows off what upholstery and can do for a project. And so this was, again, she had some antique rugs, and most of her furniture in here was antiques. And we had this little balance and everything made for that window. Let's see. And then this one, I think I showed on the pillow episode. This was her attic space. So we had wrapped this one up with some wall covering, and we put in some beautiful window treatments here for, like, this is a relaxed Roman, and again, her antique rugs. We have all of these new pillows that coordinate with the wall covering, and her antique lamps here with the mirrored chest. So this was just a cute little attic space that we turned into actual livable space. Let's see. Okay, so this is the next project. This is a before picture of a project that we came in on. So this was lady, she was ready to kind of revamp her kitchen and also get it ready for her. She wanted to sell her home. So we came in to kind of refresh everything in order for her to sell. So these are the before pictures of when we came in. So basically what you're looking at is the kitchen here, and then um, this, what you'll see in the next slide is we opened up this whole wall here to kind of make it an open concept kitchen and living room. So that's before, and here's the after picture. So we opened up the wall between the two rooms to make it an open concept, and then we just used white cabinetry. It kind of lightened everything up, and we used emerald green as a contrasting color for the island. And then it's also one of the colors that she used in her design scheme here in her living room with the emerald green couch. And she was another lover of jewel tones, so she liked that pop of emerald green. So we used white, black, white, brass, and emerald green as the main colors of this space. So as you can see, it really transformed the way that living room looked. It just opened everything up. So this was something that it was just incredible to see, like, going from this, how closed off everything looked and dark, to how open and bright everything can become after you go in and space
Is
plan
that a hint
everything.
of gold, those curtains, or yellow, amber? What color are those?
Yeah, they're a gold color. They're more on the yellow side of gold. Like it's kind of like a yellow gold. Mhm. Okay, and here's some more up close shots of the finishes. So we used the black, white, and gold backsplash here, and in the stone was like a Calcutta gold that had black surrounding it, and then we lined it with a brass liner around it, and then we had the perimeter of the kitchen was done in a black leathered granite, and then the island was done in a Taj Mahal quartzite. So we changed up the island and the perimeter to have a different surface. And then the tile that the ceramic tile back here, it's a handcrafted tile, and you can see like it's got some more dimensional color to it, and it's not quite as perfecting, I guess you could say, as a manufactured tile. So that's the difference between like a handmade tile and something that's manufactured. You kind of get a little bit of variation in color and a little bit of a different dimensional shape than a manufactured straight tile. So we thought it gave it a nice warm look to it. So, and then she had her fixtures. Here you can see she did brass fixtures. So we did her stools in brass, and we came in with lighting fixtures that have brass and black. And then her hardware on the cabinets were brass and acrylic. And then this was the adjacent living area, and then another room that was right across that was a study. So we kind of pulled in those colors to those two rooms. So her house became ready for sale, and it sold pretty fast. And let's see. Okay, so this was the third house that I wanted to show. It's a more traditional design, but this was a house that we came in on kind of mid-project that their house was flooded by a hurricane. And we came in, but at that time, everybody in Houston had gotten flooded. It was a big flood. So we came in about halfway through the project. So this was one of the rooms that we worked on. We brought in some custom drapery and upholstery. We reupholstered all her chairs. Actually, the table was something that had survived the flood, and their artwork was beautiful. And oh, sorry. And so we just used this beautiful color palette that they had to refresh the room. And again, it just goes to show like how far as designers we can only do so much but without our upholsterers and our makers, like this room wouldn't have come together. So that's just another example of that without our upholsterers and drapery makers, our dreams can't come true. So that was their formal dining room. And then the last room was it was an Astros themed room. So she was a big Astros fan. And I just wanted to throw this one in here. It was a fun project as a themed room. We don't do themed rooms very often, but this one was one that she was a huge fan. So we came in and we redid all of her pillows and made some customized chairs and customized some pillows and everything to make this room really shine as an Astros themed room. So those are some projects I just wanted to show. And let's see, I can.
Those look like the New York Mets colors. I love it. Well, if you're a baseball fans in New York, yeah, that's beautiful. Wow.
Thank you. So I don't know how much time we've got left,
We got
but
8 minutes.
okay. So I just wanted to kind of go over a few reasons why to hire a designer. If if people have hesitations about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what are the benefits of hiring a designer? So first, uh, as opposed to like what a lot of people may think, that designers can actually save you time and money. We have our job is to come in there and, like I had shown some times before, is coming in and space planning and really making sure that we're utilizing your money and your budget, making sure that we don't make mistakes with the sizing of furniture,
Mm-hmm.
sizing of rugs. Those are pretty common mistakes that people make, but they can be costly mistakes. And
Yeah.
so that's one thing. And we also, for people that don't know, like as designers, we have access to trade industries and trade pricing a lot of times. So we have different levels of pricing depending on which manufacturer that we're buying from. So sometimes, like say we for example, we'll have a wholesale account that we can get pricing at wholesale, and our markup, some designers charge different markups, but my markup is 30% on anything that on the pricing of what I can get it for. And that's all written out in my contract. But a lot of times that's still coming on significantly lower than retail pricing, because what some people don't understand is when you're buying from a retail store, a lot of times you're paying 2 or 3 times more, because that's just the way that retail works. So for some people don't realize that we actually come in a lot lower than retail pricing. So another reason why we have access to more things. So our to the trade, like what I was showing last week, like the custom furniture programs and stuff like that, we have access, we just have more access to different companies. And then also depending on, we also know, okay, if we only have a certain amount of budget, we also know,
Yeah.
okay, these certain places are wise choices for the money that you have. And then of course our training and our objective opinions, a lot of times people kind of get stuck in their projects because they've been looking at their house like the same way for so long that it's hard for them to see past like what are the possibilities within the same space. And so, we don't have any kind of emotional connections to furniture or the space when we come in. So our job, is to be able to have an objective eye, to be able to see different, more than one possibility to changing up the space and presenting those ideas, to our clients. And so those, for those reasons, like a lot of times those are things that are also going to save you time. So a lot of times people will sit and mull over like, okay, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And that's where, we come in and give you some solutions and really come in with a design plan, not just guessing at what we're doing. We come in, we're measuring the space, we're giving you options on how to replan the space or revamp the space, and that's a time saver for a lot of people. And especially if it's something that you've been kind of stuck on for a while, and coming up with a comprehensive design plan before you start a project, especially a remodeling project, like, that especially is where I would always recommend to hire a professional, because a lot of times people will get in over their head once they start knocking stuff out. And those can be costly mistakes if you don't work with a professional. And we like to have a solid plan to help our homeowners. And that's another thing, is being able to be like the in-between between, if especially during construction or building, we talk in the terms that the architects and the builders and the contractors understand. We're able to be your advocate for getting the design plan to come to fruition, and making sure that they're executing the design that we plan for your space. And really kind of being an advocate for you during construction. That's another, that's a huge thing that we bring to the table as a designer. So I think that those are just some things that I wanted to mention. If you're contemplating on, is it worth it to hire a designer?
Yeah, beautiful. Well, we would love, if we do want to hire you, we love your work. How do we reach out to you?
My website is www.avondaledesignstudio.com. My email address is rebecca@avondaledesignstudio.com. And my phone number is 803-565-3101.
Perfect. Thank you so much for today. Another great show. And are we back on again next week?
No, I think this was my last show.
Ironically, I said that because you know how many times that happens when nobody tells me, and then I'm like, oh, where's so and so? And then, oh, well, amazing. Rebecca, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, work with you. Doesn't mean it's a goodbye. Hopefully, we'll reconnect in the future somehow. And I always say,
Yes.
my guests, now I know people from different cities and states, and if I ever go there, I'm going to reach out. So don't think I'm crazy. But I love Houston. I haven't been there in years. But one day, all right?
All right. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Rebecca Grotte. Pleasure having you here. You did amazing and amazing work to continue. Thank you again.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcasts on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.